That's true.
December 7th, 1941, a date that changed the course of history forever. It was the day the world map would never be the same again. The U.S. Navy was about to face a devastating surprise, the attack on Pearl Harbor. That morning, everything seemed normal. On board one of the battleships, a young African-American cook named Doris Miller was serving breakfast to Navy officers. He had just finished collecting laundry when he heard an unfamiliar siren. Confused, he looked up and was stunned by what he saw. The sky was filled with Japanese bomber aircraft. It was a scene of chaos as wave after wave of Japanese planes rained destruction on the Pearl Harbor Naval Base in Hawaii. The Japanese had launched a surprise military strike, aiming to cripple the American Pacific Fleet. But why would Japan dare to attack such a powerful nation like the United States? And what led America to respond with the most destructive weapon ever used in human history, the nuclear bomb? Let's go back in time to understand the story. In 1941, World War II was already underway. The war had divided the world into two major alliances. On one side were Germany, Italy, and Japan, and on the other were Britain, France, and the Netherlands. At that point, the United States had not officially joined the war and was trying to remain neutral, still recovering from the effects of World War I. However, tensions were rising between the U.S. and Japan. Japan, lacking natural resources, had begun occupying neighboring regions like Korea, Taiwan, and large parts of China to fuel its growing empire. It even had its eyes on the Philippines, Malaysia, and Indonesia, territories controlled by Western powers. In response to Japan's aggressive expansion, the U.S. imposed economic sanctions and froze Japanese assets. Most critically, America cut off Japan's access to oil, which accounted for 80% of its supply. The U.S. demanded Japan withdraw from China in exchange for lifting the embargo, but Japan refused. Instead, Japan planned to seize oil-rich regions like Indonesia. But first, they needed to neutralize a threat: the U.S. Navy stationed at Pearl Harbor. Japan secretly began preparing for an attack. Their fleet included 6 aircraft carriers, 2 battleships, 39 submarines, and over 400 aircraft. Meanwhile, the American forces at Pearl Harbor had no idea an attack was imminent. On December 7th, 1941, at 7:57 a.m., over 350 Japanese aircraft launched a surprise assault on the base. The attack was swift and brutal. In 2 waves over the span of just 75 minutes, Japan destroyed 20 vessels, including 8 battleships and over 300 aircraft. More than 2,400 Americans were killed. One of the unexpected heroes was Doris Miller. Despite having no formal combat training, he manned anti-aircraft guns and shot down several Japanese planes. For his bravery, he was awarded the Navy Cross, the second highest military decoration in the United States. The attack on Pearl Harbor pulled America into World War II. The very next day, the U.S. declared war on Japan. In the months following Pearl Harbor, the U.S. rebuilt its naval strength. By April 1942, it launched a daring air raid on Tokyo, the Doolittle Raid, marking the first American attack on Japanese soil. For the next 4 years, fierce battles raged between the U.S. and Japan in the Pacific. Eventually, Japan's position weakened, but they refused to surrender. In August 1945, the U.S. decided to end the war using a terrifying new weapon, the atomic bomb. On August 6, 1945, at 8:15 a.m., a US B-29 bomber named Enola Gay dropped the first atomic bomb, codenamed Little Boy, over the city of Hiroshima. The blast generated temperatures of up to 5,000 degrees Celsius, leveling everything within a 2-kilometer radius. Nearly 80% of the city was destroyed, and tens of thousands were killed instantly. Just 3 days later, on August 9th, a second atomic bomb, codenamed Fat Man, was dropped on Nagasaki, killing thousands more. It's estimated that over 260,000 people died as a result of the 2 nuclear attacks, both from the initial blasts and the long-term effects of radiation. Faced with such devastation, Japan surrendered unconditionally on August 15, 1945, officially ending World War II.